And then the final secret, this is the one where you want to put 3 asterisks, big bold. When unsure, experiment on oneself. Shannon, right? Mm-hmm. There's no reason for you to ever give something to a patient you've never done yourself. I don't have to do it anymore, and herbs are now expensive, so I wouldn't do it anyways unless it was important. But for probably the first 10, 15 years of my practice, if I wrote a particularly strong formula or something, I would fill an extra bag that I would take. And so they'd leave with 5, 6 bags. I'd have 1 bag. I'd take it. So when they came back and we had a conversation, I had a frame of reference to what they drank. Yeah. Because otherwise, you don't know. You're just writing what a book says. And that's dangerous, particularly when you're treating more serious things and you're using dosages that are larger, right? Dr. Lee always told the story of he was given, the hospital loves to give, when he was the head of the Chinese medicine department in a Western medicine hospital. And it was a pretty famous hospital. And, every department, they get punished on how many people die in their ward, right? So the most favorite thing of the internal medicine people was to say, oh, we don't know what to do with you, so you should go to the Chinese medicine department. And then the Chinese medicine department would have the worst death records. But see, Chinese medicine doesn't work, right? But they were just giving them, like, people are going to die. So they shuffle over this guy. And Dr. Lee's like, no way. The guy's got ascites. He's got liver. He's going to die, right? And they're like, no, we can't have him in our ward. And he's like, ah. And he was like, it's going on record that he's going to die and you've stuck him over here. So he's sweating it out. He's trying to look up and he's looking. And there's a formula. And one of the ingredients is gunpowder for true ascites. I mean, when it's swollen all the way out. Yeah. So he's never prescribed gunpowder. Just because the book says so doesn't mean you give it to somebody, right? So he's trying to find usage of it, and he can't find it. He's just got this one reference. So he decides to head to the Western medicine library in the hospital. So he's over there, and he's trying to figure out, does Western medicine use gunpowder? But he doesn't know how to use that library, right? So one of the old Western medicine doctors, they were good friends, shows up and he says, Lila, like, what are you doing here in our library? He's like, oh, can you help me, right? Are there any records of using gunpowder internally in Western medicine? The guy said, let's find out. They went, they found, sure enough, there are records of using gunpowder internally as medicine in the old books. And so he was like, okay, as long as it says that, I'm going to take the risk. So he makes the formula, gives it to the patient. In the evening, he goes home. He doesn't get a wink of sleep because he thinks he's killed somebody, or maybe not. He doesn't know what's going on. So the next morning, he's up at 4. He bikes to the hospital. He gets there and the bed's empty. He's just like, oh. And there's a nurse over in the corner laughing. And he looks at her and it's like, what's going on? He goes, you're looking for the patient in the bed, right? And he's thinking like, wow, he's just going to get it, like he killed a patient, etc. He goes, he's in recovery. They moved him. Runs over there. The guy starts yelling at Dr. Lee. This guy from the countryside. It's like, you owe me a pair of pants. The gunpowder and the other herbs went in, and the guy just peed and shat out all of the ascites. And that stress on the heart and the organs was gone. I mean, it was just like, boom. Well, the guy's still really sick, right? But he's not going to die from the ascites and that failure on that spot. So, when you're going to do something in medicine to that level, you got to find some sort of resources that help you. And then you got to be willing to take some of these things.